on the Cambridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network. From Learfield, welcome to the Varsity House BirdFeed on the Ball State Cambridge Network. Here is your host, Joel Godette.
Welcome back into another edition of the BirdFeed Live, as always presented by Varsity House. Here live on Facebook. You can catch the replay on YouTube, on Instagram, not on Instagram, I'm just naming platforms at this point, on YouTube, on the Chirpcast podcast feed, and on the ISC Sports Network across the state of Indiana. Ball State men's basketball coach James Whitford joins us, and if you're listening to this or watching this live, you'll just have Whit on this. If you're watching the replay, stick around for the back half of it, because we'll talk with freshman guard Jaylin Sellers as well on those replay versions of it. But James, we will start live here with you. You've got to feel like a very happy man at this point, because you have a spot in the MAC tournament in Cleveland all locked up. How does that feel, just to know that that weight is lifted off of your shoulders? Yeah,
it feels good. I mean, it was a big win for us. Among other reasons, we'd had a 2-game home losing streak, which is never fun, losing in front of your own fans. And big win that way, and to get Cleveland knocked out of the way is great with 2 games to go, and now fight for the best position possible. And most importantly, I think really to be playing our best basketball heading up there.
What do we learn? Like, as this league progresses, I feel like it just continues to reinforce the idea that once you get to Cleveland, it's anybody's matchup. Because we talked on Tuesday night about how well Kent State was playing and how they're literally playing like one of the best teams in the country. And then Central Michigan takes them down to the wire, and of course it's Sincere Carey that wins it for them. But it just, I feel like, furthers that idea that even though one team is playing as well as anybody out there, they can get plucked off by anyone.
Yeah, I think that's always been the case in our league, and really college basketball. I think you saw 7 of the top 10 teams in the
top 6
lost last Saturday, and it's a great thing about the college format where it's one and done. You know, it's not a best out of 7, and in our world, anybody can beat anybody on a given night.
What course corrected for you, do you feel like, to pick up the victory over Eastern on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought we played really well. I thought we got off to a really good start. We had a stretch in the middle of the game where we didn't play well. But I thought the second half was one of our best halves of the year. We actually didn't shoot the ball well, but the quality of shots we got was off the charts, and won the second half by 11, and I think easily could have won the second half by 20. Thought we really played well on both sides of the ball.
What do you feel like got you shots that were that good?
I thought in the second half we had a ton of what we would think of as one more. Like, I got a good one, but he's got a better one. We had a lot of drive, kick, one more, just really unselfish. Shared the ball, 15 assists, 7 turnovers. Really, I thought, played the game the right way.
Tell me about the turnover situation for you guys, because 6 was a season low, and then you're sitting there holding the basketball at the end, and David Eha and I were joking on the broadcast. We're like, they got to shoot this, right? Like, yeah. They got to go for a season low turnovers, and then took the shot clock violation.
It's funny, I've always been a guy that always try to get your players to kind of ignore the stats during the game. You play to win, and I remember when he was looking at me, should I shoot it? And thought the right thing to do is to take the turnover, but darn, I didn't want the 7th one either. But yeah, it would have been 6 turnovers if not for that.
Why did you guys play so well in particularly the taking care of the ball category?
I don't have all the answers on that. It's been a point of emphasis for us all year, and I think maybe just the kind of alarm of, we knew we turned it over a ton up at Kent. I thought Myron in particular really played with great composure. He didn't shoot the ball well. He played very, very well. I thought he had 3 assists and 2 turnovers. Turnovers has been a big thing for him, and I thought that really helped us.
Tell me about Myron's performance, because you contrast the 2 games that he played last week between Tuesday and Saturday. Tuesday, shot lights out, turned the ball over a lot. Saturday did not shoot it well, but it was all those little things. Like we kept saying throughout the game, he made the winning play despite his shots not falling, and then at the end of the game, they did.
Yeah, no question. He hit a big one late, but he hears from me all the time that we don't need him to make shots to win. We need him to make winning plays. He had a couple of huge offensive rebounds. He defended really well on Thomas Benelli, who went 1 for 5 from 3. And he just made a lot of winning plays, made a lot of good decisions. And I heard this line, I say it quite often, but from Stan Van Gundy a long time ago, that good basketball players are good decision makers. Basketball is a game of decisions, and a lot of people think it's just about shooting or skill, but it's really about, can you play the game the right way? How do you impact winning as a player? And I thought Myron did that very well.
When you take a look at the other performances that you got, you talk about the job that Myron did defending Thomas Benelli. Thought you guys did a pretty good job defensively on the whole. Noah Farrakhan goes for 25 or 27 or whatever he wound up with, but it came down to the end. You guys made it difficult for him. And when it turned into a situation where could one guy win a team the game, you made sure that he wouldn't. How'd you do that?
We did a good job. I thought Jaylin Sellers, per usual, we put him on him. He did a good job of shrinking his space, and I just tried to make everything hard for him. And he's a good player, and he's in a good rhythm right now, coming off of 31 and then 27. But when it came to crunch time, Jaylin has the the best ability for us to limit the amount of space a player has, his ability to create separation. And I thought he did a good job there. Our bigs did a good job in pick and roll coverage. So the ones he made were tough ones.
The thing David said on the broadcast, we talked about Jaylin Sellers' performance defensively as a freshman. Typically, you will go at a freshman defensively because they're the liability. Why is it that Jaylin Sellers comes in and he is immediately your best perimeter defender? What skill does he have, or what intangible is there that sets him apart?
He is great. He's a good athlete. He's got good length. But he really has great technique, and the thing that's been really fun for me about coaching Jaylin is he's so coachable, and all the little attention to detail things that it takes to be a good defender. The stance you have, the way you defend certain actions when a cutter gets in the box, how do you prepare yourself to not eliminate, to not give separation on the screen. All those little techniques defensively. Jaylin is extraordinarily coachable. He comes in, he gets extra time, he watches film, he wants to learn, he practices them every day in practice, his focus is in the right place, and he just is, he's earned it. It's not that he's born with something different than a lot of people. He has good physical characteristics for sure, but he's really, it's really his want to on that side of the ball. He has earned the right to be a really good defender.
Is that something that you saw in him in the recruiting process, or is that something that once you get him here and you see what he does on a day-in, day-out basis, you're like, okay, this is a guy that's going to translate there?
Well, it's more the latter than the former, and it's not that to the contrary we would have heard unbelievable things about him as a kid, but a lot of guys that come to college are the hardest workers in their program. That doesn't mean they're going to be the hardest workers in a college program. It's a new standard, and sometimes you don't always know till they get there. But it became pretty evident early on that Jaylin's work ethic is exceptional, and a great kid and exceptional work ethic.
So you guys have kind of lucked out in that department, because I can't imagine that any college program has ever recruited a bad worker. Like, every high school coach is going to say he's the hardest worker in the gym, but you guys have legitimately wound up with guys that has translated with, because we've talked about it with Peyton a bunch too. Yeah,
we have, and we're fortunate right now. We have a special freshman class. We have a lot of ones in our program that are really impressive, but the freshman class as a whole has truthfully been exceptional.
You take a look at what you guys did Saturday, and really combine with that what you guys did on Tuesday night. Like, you get beat at Kent, but they are playing, and we talked about this on the broadcast on the pregame show with you, like, they are playing legitimately like one of the top 45 metrically college basketball teams in the country right now, over what's now a 10-game win streak for them. You guys led through 3 quarters against them. And the joke we made here is it took a guy going for 42 and another guy going for a triple-double to beat you. Like, odds are that's not going to happen every time out that team takes the court. What is it that you see right now that says, like, all right, we are a tough out, and as much as there are certainly teams that everybody doesn't want to see, we're a team that somebody doesn't want to see at this time of the year?
Well, we've had really all of our games except for 2. We've been right in there. I just got done watching our Akron game in the first game, and we had an 8-point lead there in the second half, and it's been we know we're capable of beating anyone in the league, and I think what makes us hard to deal with is our defense has become really solid and very sound in that area. And we're very diversified on offense. We can score from a lot of different places. We can have 5 guys in double figures. It's not easy to just take one guy away against us. And if we're firing on all cylinders, we're going to be a dangerous team come Cleveland.
You guys have Akron, first and foremost, coming to your building on Tuesday night. Second time through, you just mentioned you guys had a lead on them late. They are a different-looking team, though, than the first time that you saw them. In some ways are playing better. what concerns you when you look at the Zips on film and the challenges that they present?
They're really playing hard right now, defensively especially, and they're quick, agile, and athletic, and they can extend out and pressure you. And I thought they did that against us some in the second half, and it rattled us a little bit. And I watched Ohio, and I thought their pressure really bothered Ohio. And some of the decisions Ohio was making was uncharacteristic and poor. And us playing with poise and composure against their defense, I think, is a really big thing. Offensively, they're going to go inside. I mean, they're going to go inside to Ali. They're going to go inside to Freeman. And they do a very good job of cutting and moving off the ball when the ball goes inside. And they're playing well. But to me, it starts with their defense, their effort level on defense. And we're going to have to make sure we take care of the ball and have composure against their pressure.
Ball pressure is always an interesting thing to me because some teams do it and some teams really agitate you defensively, and some teams, we talk about this, like kind of let you run your stuff and they're going to sit back and they're going to guard you inside the perimeter. But I feel like every time we talk about, hey, this team really gets after you and they put ball pressure on and they make your decisions hard, like that's a really good defensive team. Why don't more teams do that, or what is it that's difficult about doing that prevents everybody from being able to do it well?
Well, when you do it a ton, you can get it punished for mistakes. You want to spread out and get extended a lot. You can get punished when the ball goes inside. And they have Freeman. They're gifted with a great shot blocker who can erase a lot of mistakes. But if you're asking why everybody doesn't do it, that's why. And your defense has to fit your parts. They have the most athletic five-man in the league and one of the most athletic and mobile five-men in the country. And so it fits their parts to be able to, be a little bit disruptive in that way. But I think one of the keys to being good defensively is whatever system you have, it fits your parts, and then you're really good at it. Whether you choose to play Syracuse's zone, Tony Bennett's man-to-man, as long as you're really good at your system, you can defend. Where a lot of people get thrown off is they try to do one thing one week and then they may totally different shift another week, and they watch something that works well and they try to be someone that they're not in the following week. When you see teams like that, to me, they may have a good game, but they won't have sustained success.
Let's talk about changes a little bit, though, because you guys have changed it up a little bit on defense the last couple of weeks. I know you talked about going zone with David against Bowling Green. You've done it sporadically since then as well. What's that given you guys?
Well, it's the reason we've done it is, teams can play small and try to pull our bigs away from the basket. And Bowling Green in particular, they can shoot the three from either DeQuan Plowden or Matisse when he's in at the 5. And same with Kent. They put Tervel back at the 5. And when you have those type of lineups, we can guard that way man-to-man, but sometimes it puts a lot of pressure on us. So we wanted to have a secondary defense that just might be able to help keep our bigs around the basket.
Is that the next step for Peyton? Obviously defensively being able to guard those types of players, but also when you talk about like the modern day game, for him to be able to play beyond Ball State, and he's already dropped 30 pounds. I don't know how much, I don't know what his perfect body is, or how do you shape his athleticism so that his 6'9" can turn into a guy that has some handle, has some drive, can do some different things other than sit down on the block?
He just needs time. It's it's a little bit like with Jaylin Sellers, learning the right techniques. And for Peyton, he just needs time. He's gotten much better. I mean, he's actually a very good pick and roll defender now, and that's been a steep learning curve, as it is for all freshmen. He just needs time to learn all the details of all the different things, and he's more than capable of. He's quick, mobile. Matter of fact, I wouldn't rule out that in his time here, he could switch ball screens and guard guys out there. But those kind of things take time, and what we've tried to be very careful with Peyton is not trying to teach him everything at once. He's got a lot of natural great instincts. He's going to be in a huge role for us. We knew that in the beginning of the year, and if we weren't careful, we were going to load his mind. There's a great saying in basketball, load their mind, slow their feet, and give them too much to think about, and they're out there being too cerebral and not playing. So we've had to be careful about these things he has to know. These other areas, we're going to give him a little rope and just let him play. And then as these things become things that are, come naturally for him, we pick these other areas to kind of get him better at. But he's just like Jaylin. He's extraordinarily coachable. He's going to learn it all. He's going to be able to sit in the stance and guard the ball at the three-point line. He just needs time and experience and reps to do it.
And that's one of those things where he's a freshman. He hasn't had it. He's had a piece of an off season, but now he gets a full off season for you guys heading into next year. So those are the things you can workshop and kind of go to the woodshed on. There are guys though that do not have an off season coming up for you guys. And another part of Tuesday night is that it's senior night. So it's the chance for you guys to say goodbye to folks that have been in your program. Blake Huggins is a guy. I feel like when you talk about a program guy, there's no better program guy than Blake Huggins. How much are you going to miss just not seeing his face in the gym every day?
Oh, I'm going to miss him like crazy. And one of the things you'll notice for the anthem, Blake and I are always right next to each other with our arms around each other. I think we've grown very close. There's a deep mutual respect, certainly is from me to him at the highest level. Blake would be one of the highest character guys I've coached in a long time. And he's going to work his way in. He wants to be a college coach, and he's going to be a great one. And really proud of him for everything he's done for us here on the court and off the court.
How was that developed? Like, did he always want to do that, or is that something you've seen in him and had that kind of nugget in the back of your mind going, gosh, one day he could really coach him up?
No, it's developed in his time here. He didn't come into college wanting to coach college basketball, but he's been a coach for us really for the last few years. And to tell you so much about his character is you have these, young big guy Peyton comes in who's going to start for us, and he's watching how good Peyton is, and yet Blake has more knowledge, and he's taken all these guys under his wing and tried to help them and groom them and learn them, and that says a lot about him. That he's willing to do that. He's not competing against Peyton. He's competing with Peyton every day in practice because he knows they both wear Ball State on their shirt at the end of the day. And not a ton of people can recognize that, but Blake's always been that way. I think he's got a great family, high character. He's been that way since I've known him.
Senior-wise, outside of Blake, I don't know who's what anymore at this point in time. Is there anybody else that falls under the senior category?
Yeah, who knows? We'll have to see. But no, not really, no.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a good news because then you've got guys that are interested in hanging around and coming back if they are out of eligibility, so to speak. James, looking forward to Tuesday, and then looking forward to Friday in Kalamazoo. And heading up to Cleveland and doing it a couple more times here this year.
All right. Thanks, Joel.
That is James Whitford joining us here on the BirdFeed Live. If you're watching this live, that's it for this. If you're watching the replay of it, though, stick around after this timeout, and we'll talk with Cardinals freshman Jaylin Sellers.
While new vehicles may be harder to come by recently, Stoops Automotive has stocked their inventory with plenty of new-to-you vehicles to help you find the perfect ride. Cars, trucks, SUVs, all quality pre-owned at drive-home prices. And Stoops Automotive has an amazing staff to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Stoops Automotive, East Central Indiana's used car headquarters for over 30 years.
Visit them today on West Clare Lane in Muncie or at stoopsauto.com.
Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
See dealer for details.
All right, welcome back into the BirdFeed Live. Jaylin Sellers joins us now, Ball State freshman guard. What's up, Jaylin? How we doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I am good. We started off by talking about being from Georgia, and that's about an 8-hour drive?
Yep, 8-hour drive.
What made you say, I'm going to go this far away from home for college?
I would say just the point of how Coach Whitford recruited me, how Ben recruited me. Even though Gruntmeyer is gone, he would also recruit me. So just the relationship that I have with those guys, it played in my favor.
What did they do? Like, what's the recruiting pitch? What did Coach Whitford say that you latched onto?
I mean, usually head coaches don't be the first person to reach out to you, but he was. Like many head coaches don't just be the first person to reach out to you. They'll send your assistant to reach out to you or something like that. But
why was that important? Like, what touched you about that? What was cool, or I guess what did you think when it's like, oh, I got the head coach reaching out to me?
When the head coach reaching out to me, I'm feeling like he's going to give me a chance to come in and play.
He did not lie. You got a chance to play right out of the chute. And your first game was in Georgia.
Yes, sir.
What was it like to begin your college career in your home state?
Actually, it was pretty cool. I actually had, like, somebody that I knew that goes to Georgia Southern, so it was pretty cool playing in front of her.
Oh, what'd they think coming to a college game and seeing you?
It was all right. I played okay, and then, like, my people came up from Columbus.
How many people did you have at that game?
I think probably about 12. Probably about 12 people came.
Where is Columbus, Georgia, by the way?
Columbus, Georgia is probably an hour away from Atlanta, and probably like 15 minutes, 5 minutes away from, probably not even that long from Phoenix City, Alabama.
Okay. You said 12 people coming to Georgia Southern. You don't get 12 tickets per person, right?
Right.
So walk me through the bartering process of how you got everybody into the game with your teammates.
My teammates, they pretty much transferred me the tickets. I asked them, could I get their ticket? They knew I was going back home, so they just asked me.
You didn't have to make a trade? It wasn't like but that's going to be like a week of lunch.
Nah.
How's your freshman year gone? What do you think?
It's been going pretty well. It's been some highs and some lows with it, but I'm enjoying it.
What's the best high?
I don't think I really reached the best high yet, but I mean, when I dunk the ball, it feel pretty good.
Just in general, just when I dunk the ball.
Yeah, and actually, like being around Peyton and Bashir, that really sparks me. They really helped me, and being around my teammates.
How did you guys become thick as thieves? Like it just clicked?
Kind of a love at first sight thing, you know. Soon we met each other, we just clicked tight. We've been with each other ever since then.
You're roommates with Bashir, right?
Yes, sir.
Who's better? One of you's better at pool or ping pong, right?
I'm better than him in both.
Oh, okay.
He actually put out false information. We talk about that every day, though. He put out false information.
Where's Peyton in the hierarchy?
I'm the best in ping pong and pool. Peyton is second in ping pong. Bashir is last in ping pong. Peyton is last in pool. Bashir is second in pool.
But you're number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
Easy.
Just want to make sure we get that all cleared up right now. Yeah, it's just who's the top dog there. Let's talk about defense. We've talked about this. That is your bread and butter on this team. It has not always been your thing. How did it become your thing?
Just wanting to play on both sides of the ball, and when you get steals, you can also score the ball. And I just want to do whatever I can to help the team win.
How did that become a thing, though? Because you said you don't play a lot of defense in high school because you've got to score.
Right.
You got to save yourself for that side of the ball.
Right.
There is no doing that in college.
Right.
What instilled that in you? It's like, I got to play defense. And obviously, it's, hey, I want to get on the court.
Right.
But I feel like sometimes that's a longer process. Why did it click so quickly for you?
I feel like in high school, my coach actually made us play defense, but I wasn't going on the best player. Like, we did much of a press. So my play style always been a playing hard play style, whether if it's on offense or defense. So, and Coach Whitford, he beat it into my head, like, we need a defender. We need that second defender, with Luke Bumbelow being the first defender. We need a second defender. We need people to come in and play defense.
This is not a knock on Luke, but when did you take over as the first defender? When did things kind of click where now you are the guy guarding the primary threat on the perimeter for the other team?
Pretty much. I never even looked at it as that, honestly. I never even looked at it as that. I just come in and guard. But I would say, like, I started guarding more better players around Western Michigan game.
What changed? Like, how much did you have to up your level at that juncture?
I would say just the process of coming in and watching film. Make sure you know, like, the little tendencies that they have so I can guard them, things like that.
How much film do you watch to prepare for a game?
I probably come in 2 days before and watch it all the way up to the game.
What do you look for?
Like, I look for if they have a weak right hand or a weak left hand, when they're going to do a step back. Is there a three-level score? Can they shoot? Things of that sort. Can they shoot off the dribble? Is they more of a catch and shoot? And do they come off screens? I pay attention to little things like that.
Do you notice a difference if there's a game where you didn't get to watch as much film or you didn't have as much film versus when you, like, hey, I've been locked in on this one? Can you tell a difference when you're on the court in terms of how prepared you are?
For sure. If I don't watch enough film, then it would probably take me a couple possessions to get locked in instead of being locked in on the first possession. So I would say if I'm watching film, I'm probably be on it from the jump. But if I'm not watching film or I miss a day of not watching film, it probably going to come out a little slow.
Do you like defense now?
For sure.
What do you like about it?
Just defense to offense. Defense to offense when you get steals.
That happened on Saturday.
Right.
It's probably hard to quantify. It's like, is that the best play of your career so far? to jump a passing lane and have a breakaway solo dunk?
I would probably say yes.
Yeah, you've had some good dunks though.
Right. I'd probably say yes.
What are you thinking? Walk me through that play on Saturday.
On the play on Saturday, Coach Whitford called out the play, and then I read the pass. He came up 2 screens. I read the pass. 3 still threw it, so I just ran through the pass. Noah was kind of grabbing me, so I was just trying to get to the ball and make the dunk.
And don't miss the dunk.
Right. Make the dunk. That's all I needed to do was make the dunk.
When do you make up your mind what kind of dunk you're going to do?
Pretty much, if somebody's on my trail, I'm pretty much just going to tomahawk it. But if I really haven't got like an open breakaway, it'd be different if it was just on like an open breakaway. I'd probably bring some out of my bag, probably a little windmill.
Why is the tomahawk the go-to? Just the rear back and dunk one hand?
Just the force of it. Just the force of it. You really can't. You can throw it down with 2 hands, but you more of got to make sure you don't hurt yourself and things of that sort. So one hand just more comfortable for me.
So that's, I was gonna say, because most people would just go up 2-hand,
Right.
dunk, flush. I mean, you got to get in trouble with the chin up. You got to be careful not to do
Right.
that. I didn't think of like the safety aspect of that. Is it just easier for you to dunk it with one hand?
For sure. For sure, it's much easier to dunk it with one hand.
And I feel like it looks better. So
Right. Give me a little cock back so it feel a little better.
you get hype after those moments.
For sure.
Have you always been an energy guy?
For sure, I always been an energy guy, and I feel like it rubbed off on my teammates. Sometimes Bashir and Peyton get more hype than me, so yeah, I love it though.
Are you a loud guy off a basketball court, or are you more quiet and reserved?
Around my teammates, I joke around with my teammates, but pretty much outside of my teammates, I'm to myself, don't talk much.
What is it about basketball that brings out your personality?
I would say probably just that hunger and that grit, and just want to win.
You're a Kobe guy.
For sure.
Why?
Just because of his work ethic and the hunger and the chip on his shoulder that he brought and the process that he had.
When did you realize that? Like, at what age did you say, like, this guy's different, he's built different, and if I want to get there, I've got to be built different too?
Probably around like 8th grade, I started watching like his highlights, watching like how he used to break players down, because he played both ends of the ball also, and just watching him, watching a lot of film on him, and just seeing that hunger and that grit.
And John Morant, he's one of your big ones.
For sure.
Why?
Because for sure both of us number 12, but
do you wear 12 for that reason?
No, it's not for that reason. It's not for that reason. It's for a different reason. But
why do you wear 12?
Actually, I went number 12 because my significant other wore number 12. So, and then I just picked that number, and then I got the quote from John Morant: "One of one, second to none."
That works. That applies.
Right.
He traveled a path I know you want to emulate, though, right?
Right. He wasn't the man on this team when he first came in as a freshman. He didn't go to the biggest college, but he still made it to the highest level. So I feel like I can do the same.
How much do you follow him? Like, when did you become a John Morant fan?
I became a John Morant fan probably after he played Alabama. Probably after he played Alabama, I would say that.
What stood out?
His athleticism and how different he is. He can do everything on the court. He can pass the ball, he can shoot it, he can dunk, he can drive, rebound the ball. He pretty much do it all.
Have you ever reached out to him?
No, I haven't.
What would you ask him if you had a chance?
I would have a lot of questions for him, like what he see out pick and rolls, like what he see when he picking apart defenses and things of that sort.
When we started this by talking about your growth defensively. Is it funny now to sit here and think about, all right, I got a chance to sit down and talk to John Moran. I want to ask him about how he's going to pick apart a pick-and-roll defense,
right,
when, like 4 months ago, playing a pick-and-roll defense was the furthest thing from your mind.
Right. I would say I would for sure ask him that, just because so I can know, like, what to look for on defense and also what to look for when I get in a pick-and-roll situation.
How much more complicated is what you do on defense now than what you've ever been used to?
It's very complicated. It was at first. I'm now I'm getting a rhythm with it. I would say help defense, with like shrinking the floor and things of that sort. We ain't pretty much do that in high school. We ain't have to get back out to a shooter. Pretty much, if we have a shooter, we'll just face guard him or something like that. But now you just gotta, do the pick and roll. It's a lot of calls with the pick and roll.
A lot of calls, you got to talk.
Right.
Is there a lot of talking in high school?
Not with too much of pick and roll, I would say that, but more of saying, like, I got your help. That's more of what we're going to say.
We've talked about work ethic a little bit with you. Obviously, you watch a lot of film. You put in a ton of work. In the off-season, Coach Whitford has said that if he came by the practice facility at like 7 p.m., you'd always be there.
Right.
Is that your happy place?
For sure, where I can just have peace. That's my peaceful place, for sure.
What do you like to do? Just you set up the gun and shoot, or are there drills you do for yourself, or how are you most productive in that time, or what's most important to you in that time?
In that time, I would feel like I focus on a lot of shooting, finishing, and dribbling. We do a little pick and roll and things of that sort. Just becoming better on everything.
And then you do it in season because you're going on the early bus to shoot around. How much time do you get to do that? You get about a half hour early?
Yep, probably about a half hour early.
What do you utilize that time for?
I go in, me and Coach Smith would go in, I probably do some dribbling drills, should get some shots up, shoot some pull-ups, and do a couple finishes.
What's progress for you in that regard? Like you show up to do that for that 30 minutes. How do you know you got better? What makes you feel like you're getting better? What are you, at the end of that, you're saying like, oh, okay, I feel better because I did this?
I would say like a confidence build, going in the game, feeling comfortable with the rims and things of that sort.
Confidence is a big thing.
For sure.
How so?
Because when you have confidence, can't nobody take away your confidence. When you have confidence, you feel like you can do anything.
Jaylin, it's been fun watching you grow up and blossom here. I know you've got a lot of big dreams and big goals on the horizon, so looking forward to what the next 3 years have in store. Before that all happens, though, you guys have the MAC tournament. First time in an NBA arena?
Yes, sir. First time ever.
What do you think it's going to be like?
I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun. Get into it with the crowd a little bit. I feel like it's going to be fun.
That's where LeBron's played. Like, won a championship in there. Is that weird?
It's going to be kind of weird. I'm just trying to manifest me being there in the NBA jersey. So.
Do you take a second? Do you think you'll just walk out there, look around a little bit? And then is it one of those where after that, hey, it's just a basketball court and you have to kind of move past that?
Right. I would probably walk out there, do my same routine, get good with the rims, taking all the energy from, even if no one's in there, just taking all the energy from the arena and things of that sort. And then after that, it's go time. It's just a regular court after that.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't do this before I let you go. You got to calm your mind, right?
For sure. Have to calm your mind.
You got into yoga how?
I got into yoga with Bo Calhoun, just to do get things right with my mental and flexibility.
When did you notice that started to work?
I just really started seeing progress, with flexibility and things of that sort, and how it calms your mind down, how you got to really focus. It helps you in the game focusing, it helps you in film focusing and things of that sort.
Are you thinking at some point when you start going like, this is going to be ridiculous? How hesitant were you, and what clicked in your mind? Or like, you know what? No. This is great.
When I first went with Bo Calhoun, I was like, I really don't want to do it. But I guess I'll do it. When time went on, and how my body was feeling after I would do it, I was like, it's pretty cool. I might as well just keep doing it.
Why did Bo, was it just the thing where it's like, hey, you and Bo are close, so you're going to go try yoga? Or was Bo coming to you as a coach saying, hey, I want you to do this? Or was Bo going to go do it, so you were going to tag along?
Bo actually, he did yoga when he played, and it helped him out pretty much. And the things that I needed help with my mental and like calming my body and flexibility, he felt like that was best for me. And me and Bo was pretty close. So.
You going to get your teammates to come with you?
Oh, for sure. On the off season, I'm going to try to get as many of them as I can.
Are you going to become a certified yogi eventually? Are we going to, in your post NBA playing days, are we going to have like the Jaylin Sellers yoga studio in Columbus, Georgia?
It could be so. Could be so. See what we have in store. It could be so.
Jaylin, I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Best of luck down the stretch.
Thanks for letting me.
All right, that is Jaylin Sellers joining us here on the Bird Feed Live. Ball State men's basketball is home tomorrow night with Akron. 888 BSU ticket. BallStateSports.com has all the details. And we'll preview the MAC tournament back here next week on the Bird Feed.
This was the Varsity House Bird Feed on the Ball State Gamebridge Network.